Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have another brand new Marco Makes Basic JP 30th Anniversary figure to take a look at, and this is another really exciting one as we have the Ankylosaurus. Now this one I think is based on the Jurassic Park 3 version of the Ankylosaurus, so that's the paint scheme that I'm going to be going with when I go and get this painted up, but you can see again, with these figures, this is an unpainted version. You can purchase these unpainted or painted if you'd like to see what the painted version of Marco's Ankylosaurus would look like. Just wait a few moments. It's actually going to be here on the booklet we're going to see. But you can see the box art looks absolutely gorgeous, as it has every single time. But if you've already taken a look at these reviews with the first two that I've posted, you'll know it's the same box art. There's nothing different. There's no like dinosaur name or anything on it. So if you get one of these, just know that each and every one of the figures are going to come with this gorgeous box art. But if you get the unpainted version, it comes unassembled. If you get the painted version, it's already assembled for the figure to, stand in. And of course, it's a great way to display your figure here in this incredible packaging from Marco Makes. But if we take the figure out for just a moment, we also have this booklet here, this little pamphlet on the inside. You can see Bring a Lost World Home. We've got the Marco Makes logo right there and those beautiful JP gates right there. This actually was designed by Dino Mike Mac, so you know it's going to be amazing because Dino Mike Mac always does a great job on anything that he creates. But you can see here on the inside, you've got a full list of the different figures that are available in this line of basics, some of which we've reviewed, some of which we haven't, but there is the Ankylosaurus that's actually painted by Marco right there, so that's the type of paint job you would get on your Ankylosaurus if you get it painted by Marco. You also down here have a checklist of all of the figures contained in this line of basics from Marco, and you also can see you can kind of check them off as you get them with the painted or unpainted. And then here on the back, you again have another shot of all of the figures included, and yet again you have a look at the Ankylosaurus there that would be painted by Marco. And you can also scan this to take you straight to right here. You can scan this to take you straight to the Marco Makes social media accounts if you are interested in checking those out, which I of course highly recommend. And then, just like we've seen the last few times, on the inside you've got some footprints there, and then on the back of the box you have information on the fact that these are special edition collectors models, and you also of course have a shot of the paddock fence there and the Marco Makes logo. So really nice packaging. And then you of course have the Ankylosaurus itself, and again Marco absolutely nails it, absolutely knocks it out of the park. He is easily one of the most talented sculptors on the planet. There's just no question about that, especially when it comes to screen accuracy. Like, he is above and beyond what so many others are able to pull off. Just a talent from another world. I'm starting to think Marco might be an alien. But again, this is incredible as far as the sculpt goes. I am beyond hyped to get some paintwork on it, but before I can do that, we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at it right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our Ankylosaurus, you can see it again looks pretty much as perfect as it gets when it comes to an Ankylosaurus from the Jurassic franchise, and specifically Jurassic Park 3. We've got the nostrils sculpted out there, the tip of the snout. You can see the eye socket and eye itself is very nicely sculpted. We have the spikes there leading off of the head of the Ankylosaurus. We have the mouth as well sculpted, and the beak. A lot of it's going to be kind of hard to really pick up on how nice it looks until we actually get some paintwork on it, but there you can really see how gorgeous the skin texture and everything is here on the upper part of the head. It looks fantastic and extremely vibrant. The actual print quality of these is mind-blowing. They are so good. I believe these are actually printed out and cleaned up by Alex Kendrick, who you've heard me speak of quite a bit, especially when it comes to the Kingdom collection and some of the stuff that I've reviewed and promoted in the past for that. But you can also see some ridges running along the side of the head of the Ankylosaurus. As you lead back here into our armored Ankylosaurus body, it continues to look gorgeous and very vibrant. The skin texture here running along the back again looks great, definitely aching for a nice dark wash, and then we lose focus on it. But you can also see that all of the armored kind of spikes running along the back of the Ankylosaurus as well look great. It's a little hard to really pick up on the nice fine detail of them, but I'm sure once I get some paintwork on them, you're really going to be able to pick out how nice they look. You can see them a little bit here. You can kind of get an, oh my goodness, it really doesn't want to focus on this. I guess the color is just too much for the background. to kind of mesh with. But you can see again some of the fine detail here on the spikes running along the side of the Ankylosaurus. Looks super, super nice. Really nice fine detail in that area as you lead along and you lead out into the tail. It continues to, again, just looks so good. Like absolutely incredible quality on these sculpts and the actual print itself. But as you lead out, you've of course got the club tail. Again, Marco does not cease his detail anywhere. It is phenomenal as far as the fine detail of that area. And if you take a look here at the side, not only does the club tail look great, but we lead along the side of the tail of the Ankylosaurus, and it looks so good. It really does look like a genuine maquette that would be used for the Jurassic franchise. As you lead down here on the underside, you can get a good look at what the skin texture looks like and just how nice and impressive that aspect is as well. You've got all the things you would want to see, like muscle definition and the kneecap, the elbow, everything sculpted out beautifully. You've also got the feet sculpted really nicely. There's the first foot sculpt. Again, the front foot sculpt. You've got the nicely sculpted nails. Even the toes look super impressive. Same deal, of course, here for the rear leg. And it almost like looks like you can genuinely see the bone structure of the animal there underneath the skin. Like so unbelievably impressive when it comes to the actual fine detail of these. And if you look here at the underside, we again have absolutely amazing looking skin texture throughout. I am just so hyped to get some paint work on this and give myself a really nice, really good version of a Jurassic Park 3 Ankylosaurus, because I don't really have any so far in my collection. We do have the attempt by the Hammond collection, which is pretty nice, but I wouldn't exactly call it a perfect representation of a Jurassic Park 3 Ankylosaurus. But you can again see everything looks just as nice over here as it did on the initial side. You're not really going to see any type of difference really, because the figure as a whole is in a neutral position for the most part. And again, that's kind of the maquette style that we are going for with these. And you can absolutely see again, it looks beautiful over here, just like it did on the initial side. You do have holes on the undersides of 2 of the feet on this one, whereas you normally have it on the underside of 1 foot, because this is of course a quadrupedal animal. But something to be aware of, that you get like a hole on the underside of the foot. That helps, of course, to keep the figure kind of hollow and the price and cost down on these to help make them a little more affordable. And then you, of course, have the Marco Makes logo there on the underside of the foot. So I am so excited to get some paint work on this one. I was beyond impressed with the Carnotaurus, beyond impressed with the Compsognathus. Now I get a chance to take a look at the Ankylosaurus, so let's get it painted and we'll be right back. So here is our Ankylosaurus now painted up and looking absolutely beautiful. Hopefully my paintwork has done the figure justice, because the sculpt is certainly incredible, but I tried my best to kind of match it up to the colors of the Ankylosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, and thankfully we have the dinosaur style guide, because you really don't see this dinosaur for very long. It's only like a very brief moment in Jurassic Park 3, so we don't have a whole lot of reference material to kind of study the coloration from. But again, the dinosaur style guide wins again as far as that goes and saves the day, because without that I absolutely would not have had a very good idea as far as the coloration goes of the figure. But again, you can see now that it actually has some paintwork on it. It just comes to life so nicely, and all of the detail just pops in the absolute most realistic way possible. Pretty much like we've been saying through the course of these reviews, looking like a straight up maquette from the Jurassic production as they were creating the film. It absolutely looks like it would have been a maquette used to kind of give us an idea as far as what the Ankylosaurus would look like in the film. And again, you can also see that the detail is incredible. No matter what angle you are looking at it from, no matter what area you are looking at it from, it is completely overloaded with incredible detailing, and again, is as screen accurate as I would think Ankylosaurus for Jurassic Park 3 could ever get. Like, it really does look like Marco literally just pulled it straight out of the screen, and then again it kind of shrunk it down and brought it to us in model form. It is that impressive when it comes to the sculpting and detailing. Honestly, even though I praise Marco all the time, I feel like he is just so underrated. Like, he really does have the skills to be working for a huge company somewhere and getting paid mountains of money for his work, because he has the skill to demand that sort of attention. But you can again see, no matter where you look at it, it is incredible when it comes to a detailing standpoint. But I'm pretty happy with my paintwork. Again, it's the best I could get as far as what I think the Ankylosaurus looks like in Jurassic Park 3. I based my paint job off of the Dinosaur style guide, and this looks exactly as I can recall the Ankylosaurus looking in Jurassic Park 3. So, yet again, the Dinosaur style guide helps out. Another paint job for me, as it's done plenty of times so far. And yet again, I'm really quite happy with the final result here for my Ankylosaurus. As far as a size goes, for a length on our Ankylosaurus, it's going to be hard to do this correctly because the spikes here on the side are going to push the tape measure away. But you are looking, I would say, at about the 8.5-inch range, maybe a little over because I have it further away. It's a little hard to really tell exactly. Or about 21.5, maybe approaching 22 actually, centimeters. And height-wise, being an Ankylosaurus, you're not going to have a whole lot, but I would say about 2.5 inches or around 6.5 centimeters. Also a fairly rough measurement because it's not like I can get it exactly right up against the Ankylosaurus at the highest point. But for a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Marco Makes Basic JP 30th Anniversary Ankylosaurus. And you can see that, again, it's not absolutely huge. None of these figures are massive, but they are a very nice, very convenient size when it comes to collecting them, because you can purchase plenty of them and still have enough room in your collection to add more. But I would like to think you can see, again, it does have a very impressive size, but it's not gigantic, which in this case I would say is definitely a good thing. And then when it comes to another fun comparison, here is the Marco Makes JP 30th Anniversary Basic Compsognathus next to the Ankylosaurus. So this clearly shows you that the dinosaurs are not to scale with each other, but you wouldn't expect them to be. And you can also see, again, basically what the size of this line is they don't differ too far in size from each other. Obviously, the Compy is way different in the overall appearance to its body, so it's a lot thinner and stuff, but the general size, I would say, is kind of similar, like lengthwise and stuff like that. Obviously, two very different colorations as well, and both of these are actually figures I painted, so that's pretty cool. But as far as a JP 30th Anniversary figure I did not paint, we have one of my favorite figures that Marco has ever produced, the Carnotaurus here from the JP 30th Anniversary Basic line. And also, again, this is one that he painted, so you can get an idea of what my paintwork and Marco's paintwork looks like. His is definitely a little better than mine, but still, again, incredible to see these two together, and also just in general incredible to now have quite a few of these figures in my collection, the basic figures from Marco Makes. I am absolutely hoping to complete this line. Honestly, I feel like I need to complete it because I love Marco's work and I love Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, so having an entire complete collection of these maquette-style figures would probably be, I would say, a dream come true at this point. Then for another comparison of our Marco Makes Ankylosaurus, this time next to a Mattel Ankylosaurus. Obviously, it's Bumpy that we have this time. You can definitely see, again, that the Marco Makes version's a little bit smaller than the Mattel version is, but I would say the Marco Makes version is a lot more accurate as far as what we see on screen. But even though, you can't really judge in this visual because Bumpy is obviously a very different looking Ankylosaurus compared to the Jurassic Park 3 Ankylosaurus. But I'm just noticing that there's it's a lot flatter here on the Mattel version, whereas you have that more screen accurate sort of hump to the back, like the higher up visual there of the back compared to what we see on the Mattel version. But again, this is Bumpy, very, very different looking compared to the Jurassic Park 3 Ankylosaurus. But they look incredibly cool together, I can definitely say that. And then for one more comparison, we have a Mattel Dilophosaurus and Velociraptor stepping in to stand next to our Ankylosaurus, just to, again, further give you an idea of the size of this incredible figure. So this brand new Marco Makes 30th Anniversary JP Ankylosaurus, Jurassic Park 3 Ankylosaurus to be specific, is absolutely beautiful. He really did a great job on this. Again, when it comes to the sculpt, it is as highly detailed as it honestly could get, and also as screen accurate as it could honestly get. And we don't have very many interpretations of the Ankylosaurus from Jurassic Park 3, so it's really cool to have a good, solid recreation of that dinosaur. We do have the Hammond Collection version, but that at the same time, sculpt-wise, doesn't look exactly as the Jurassic Park 3 Ankylosaurus looks. So when it comes to screen accuracy, I would say Marco's is probably the best out there that I can think of. And just like with everything Marco does, the sculpt, again, as far as the fine detail goes, is incredible. And also, the actual print quality of this is extremely high quality, extremely crisp and vibrant. So that's always a massive plus as well. And just like with all of the other JP 30th anniversary figures from Marco, you do have the opportunity to have this painted by Marco, or you can buy it unpainted like I had mine here was unpainted, and you can paint it yourself, which again is what I did. So that's really up to you, but Marco's paintwork I have seen for this Ankylosaurus looks again just like it does in the film, and I've come to expect when it comes to a paint job from Marco, you're always going to get an incredibly impressive paint job. So whether you get the painted version from Marco or you go the route that I had here with the unpainted and you paint it up yourself, it's going to be a win because the sculpt is just so good. No matter what paint you put on it, it's going to shine. So yet another incredible addition to that Marco Makes JP 30th Anniversary line, and there are so many more figures in that line that I cannot wait to get my hands on and check out for you guys here, and of course add to my collection. So if you are interested in grabbing this Ankylosaurus, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on the Marco Makes Etsy shop, where you can again pick yourself this or many other of the JP 30th Anniversary figures to add to your collection. So make sure you check that link in the description, go grab yourself one of these incredible figures, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.